Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing two brand new cards featuring the new March 2022 release from Pinkfresh Studio. There are 5 brand new washi tapes along with the coordinating dies, stamps, stencils. There are so many ways to use these products, as well as some new essential products. So I'm just kind of fanning them out. See the 5 washi tapes here. I'm going to be using the Dahlia washi tape today. All of these washis have a coordinating stamp set, and I've cut them to fit in these sleeves, along with a coordinating layering stencil set and die set. So they are so versatile, but the thing that I think you're gonna go crazy about is these new essentials. These new hot foil shapes along with the coordinating dies are available separately. So if you only want the dies, you can get those, or if you only want the hot foil plates, you can get those. I'm going to show you a ton of ways that you can use them, but they're available in circles, diamonds, and hexagons. So that's a look at the complete new release here, and I will have a reel over on my Instagram sharing all of the washi tapes kind of fanned out so you can take a look at those. But I'm going to start off with the Dahlia washi tape. That's the washi tape that I'm going to be using in my projects today. And this washi tape is really easy to use. You're going to peel off a section from the roll, and you can either place it directly down onto the cardstock or you can trim it first. And I've trimmed it first today. And I'm starting at one end of the cardstock. I'm placing this on some white hammer mill cardstock, and I'm pressing that end down. Now you can see if I kind of get a bubble underneath it, I can pull it up. But once I run this through my die cut machine, that washi tape's really going to be pressed onto the cardstock, and I don't have any problems with it peeling up. Now, 3 of the washis in this new collection have this gold foiling. This is the Dahlia washi. It has the gold foiling. The sunflower and the fuchsia washi also have the gold foiling. The hibiscus and the rainbow wreath washi do not have the foiling. Now, one thing I really love to do with this washi is cool because it's translucent. You kind of see that there when I peel it off from the roll. So in order to maintain that translucent effect, I really like to put it on vellum as well. And you can see that on the right-hand side here. Do you see how it maintains that translucence? I really love that look. And I've die cut a few of them here. This is on the white cardstock. And I'm going to hold up one of these so you can see it. This is actually my favorite piece here on the white cardstock. But I'm going to hold it up side by side along with one that I have die cut from the vellum. So this is on white cardstock once again. And here is a look at the vellum die cut pieces. Now when I hold these up side by side, you're going to see that the white cardstock on the left, it has a vibrancy, but the one on the right has that translucence. So you can decide how you want to use them. Now let's have a close-up look before we get into the cards of these new essentials. The essential hot foil plates in the circles, the diamonds, and the hexagons. I am going to show you several ways that you can use these. I'm just kind of preparing some pieces for my cards, and I'm going to show you all of these examples using the diamonds, but you can do these with the circles and the hexagons as well. And I have to tell you, I hope they come out with a rectangle and a square soon. So I am starting out with the largest nested diamond here. And this is the hot foil plate, so I'm placing it with the design facing my cardstock. Now, the reason I have this taped into place is because I want it to be in the very center of my card front. So I trimmed off the excess foil, I placed my champagne foil in there, and I'm going to place this with the back side of the foil plate on the platform of my Gemini foil press. And my foil press is heated up to the medium setting. And I'm going to set my timer for 30 seconds and I am going to let that heat up. Now, when that timer has run out, I'm going to take the platform and release it from the base. And I'm going to run that platform through my Gemini Junior. Now, this is going to press the foil onto the cardstock just in the design of that nested diamond here. And I want to call them triangles, but they're diamonds. And so once I've run that through, you can see I peel off the excess foil and I have a beautiful foiled diamond on my card front. Now these are gorgeous as they are, but when you combine them with the coordinating dies, they have so many more uses. I'm going to do the same thing with the next size down. There are 4 of the nested diamonds. There are 5 of the nested hexagons, and I believe there's 4 of the nested circles. So I've run that through. I've foiled that on my card front, and you can see I have a beautiful foiled shape there on my card front. Now for all of my foiling today, I am using the Hammer Mill Cover Weight cardstock. It's a super smooth cardstock. I get great results foiling with it. It's kind of hard to find right now, but I believe there is some available at Simon Says Stamp. And I'm finally foiling the smallest 2 sizes of these diamonds because I want you to see all of the sizes. So here's a look at the 2 smallest sizes of the diamonds. Now, like I said before, when you combine these foil shapes with the dies that coordinate, they really become so versatile. And I'm going to show you how that works here. So for each of these sizes of diamonds, there is an outer die and an inner die. So I'm taking, this is the second largest nested diamond here, and I am taking the outer die and I'm lining it up around the outside of the foiling, and the inner die, and I'm lining that up on the inside. And when I run this through my die cut machine, I am going to be left with this gorgeous foiled diamond frame. Now, the cool thing about this is that I can either use both dies to cut a frame. I can use just the outside die to cut a shape with the foiling on the inside of that shape, or I can use this inside die by itself to create a window, and that's what I'm doing here. So I just have the die that nestles on the inside of this foiled diamond, and that leaves me with a beautiful foil framed window for the front of my card. And I'm going to be using this largest foil frame window on one of my cards today. Now, if you haven't crossed over into the hot foiling realm, don't worry, you can still purchase the nesting dies that are available in these shapes and use them to cut frames and windows on your card, or you can use them to cut shapes to use on the front of your cards as well. Now, I did want to show you a cool way to use these nesting diamonds or the nesting circles or hexagons. You could do this with as well. I'm using the magnetic backer that comes in the packaging, and I am lining this up on the magnetic backer with all these nested inside of each other. This is the back side of the foil plate that's facing up towards me. I'm going to hold them all in place with some scrapbook.com mint tape, and I'm going to foil these nested inside of each other onto some white cardstock using the champagne foil from Spellbinders. So I let that heat up and I foiled them all at once, and then I have all of these nested shapes inside of each other. So here's a look at some of the ways you can use them. You can use them as a window, and you can do a couple of sizes of windows and layer them up with some foam tape between them. You can cut the little frames, you can use them as shapes, and I absolutely love these. I think they are going to become a staple item in my crafting, and I am so thrilled that I have all of them. And I cannot wait for some rectangles as well. Now, rectangle dies are kind of common on the market, but I don't know of any companies who offer the hot foil plate that kind of coordinates with them. So I just showed you a look at the hexagons. I only did the 2 largest sizes in the windows because the windows get pretty small when you move into the smaller sizes, but I did show you all of the sizes available in the frames as well. And keep in mind, you can use your hot foil, your solid hot foil plate from Pinkfresh Studio to create the reverse of these as well. So now that I've showed you all the fabulous new products from Pinkfresh Studio, let's make a card. I have all of these pieces die cut from the Dahlia washi tape. I'm using a mixture of both the vellum and the white cardstock backed pieces today. And I have this frame that I have die cut and hot foiled using the nested diamonds hot foil and coordinating die set from Pinkfresh Studio. And the really cool thing about these die cut washi pieces is they make the quickest and most beautiful cards. Now, I cannot color like this. If you enjoy coloring, you can do the same thing using the stamp set, and you can color the pieces in yourself. And you can see I'm just kind of layering up some pieces there. Now I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on this Jade cardstock from the Stamp Market. And I did learn the hard way that this Tidal Pond ink from Pinkfresh Studio really likes to stick to my glass mat. Now, I was able to get the staining off of my glass mat, but it took a little bit of elbow grease. So in order to prevent having to really scrub this glass mat again to get that Tidal Pond ink off, I went ahead and just laid down a silicone craft mat to protect my surface. Now I am going to gold heat emboss the sentiment from the Dahlia stamp set. And this says, "You are so golden." So I've prepped the surface of my white cardstock using a powder tool. This is the Rabbit Hole Designs Cottontail Embossing Powder Tool. And I've inked up my stamp using Versamark ink, and I'm sprinkling on some gold embossing powder. This is the Gilded Embossing Powder from Brutus Monroe. And then I'm going to heat set that. Now I am taking my scissors and I am just going around that word that says golden, and I am fussy cutting this. Now, in my dream world, there would be a die that would die cut this word golden because I love it. And I use so much gold in my crafting that I think it would be really fun to have. But for today, I just had to die cut it. Now I'm working on adding my washi tape pieces. So I've added one kind of tucked behind the window, and I'm adding a couple more pieces over the top of the window using some foam adhesive. And I'm just tucking them in there until I find an arrangement that I like. And I am just kind of using that nested diamond window that I created on my card front to kind of guide me and create a cluster on one side of that. Now I put some foam adhesive all over the back of this card front, and I die cut the Geotiles die from Pinkfresh Studio out of some white cardstock. And I'm placing this right over the top of that so you can see that Geotiles through the window. I believe this is currently out of stock at Pinkfresh Studio, but I think I saw it in stock at ellenhudson.com. And this Geotile die is like my favorite new cover die. I'm going to be using it so much. And that ink blended panel that I had, I went ahead and used the largest diamond to just die cut that from that panel that I had ink blended. And I'm placing that behind the window using some liquid glue. Then I'm going to take that entire thing and adhere it to a top folding A2 size card base. So I cut that out of some Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock. It's cut to 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2 inches to create that top folding A2 size card. Now I have the "You Are So." I stamped that in black ink and trimmed it down into a banner. And then I have the golden word that I fussy cut. And I finished this card off with some metallic gold pearls from Pinkfresh Studio. I absolutely love it. This would make, all of these cards would actually make really beautiful wedding cards. Now I have another panel of that Jade cardstock, and I'm adding some Tidal Pond ink just around the edges to kind of intensify the color around the edge of this panel. And then I'm going to run it through my die cut machine using the diagonal stitched rectangle from Pinkfresh Studio. And I have some more of the Dahlia washi pieces that I've die cut from the Dahlia washi tape. And I'm going to arrange these on the card. Now you can see I have a foiled frame, but I also have the solid die cut piece behind it so that I can kind of create some dimension. And I'm using a mixture of the white backed washi tape, so the white cardstock backed washi tape, as well as the vellum backed washi tape. Now I used the white backed washi tape on the large piece that will kind of be adhered over the top of that Jade cardstock so that you wouldn't see the Jade cardstock coming through. And then I'm using the washi tape pieces over the top of my frame. Now I heat emboss that "You Are So Golden" sentiment onto the solid shape, and then I added some foam adhesive to the back of my frame and adhered that right over the top. So the frame kind of pops up over the top of that solid shape and you get a little dimension. And now I'm taking some liquid glue and I'm adhering my washi tape pieces onto the frame, kind of framing out that sentiment. And because there's a little dimension between the frame and that solid diamond piece that's behind it, you can really see the translucence of the washi coming through when it's adhered onto the vellum. And I'm just using little dots of liquid adhesive to adhere those onto my frame. Now I'm going to flip this frame over and I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid glue on the edge of this so that I can position this down over the top of that large washi die cut piece. And I just kind of like to arrange this on my card front, but I want to be able to pick this all up at once. So I'm just adhering that large piece onto my frame piece. And that's going to create one big kind of embellishment cluster that I can pick up and move around. And you can see how using the washi on the white cardstock on top of that jade cardstock really makes those colors pop against that jade cardstock. If I would have used the vellum backed washi on top of that jade cardstock, you would have seen a lot of that jade color coming through. Now I adhered that entire cluster onto this jade card front using some foam adhesive. And then I added a panel of foam adhesive to the back of my card front and added that to a top folding A2 size card and finished off this card with some metallic gold pearls from Pinkfresh Studio as well. So there you have it, 2 beautiful cards featuring the brand new Dahlia washi coordinating die, coordinating stamp set from Pinkfresh Studio. Keep in mind that if you do purchase the coordinating stamp set by itself, there is a layering stencil that's available to quickly color in these images. And that is true for all of the washi and stamp and coordinating dies that were released in this March release. And I absolutely love the way these foiled frames turned out, and I cannot wait to use them on more cards in the future. Now, if you're looking for something in particular that I used in these projects in today's video, be sure to check the description at YouTube. I will have links to all the featured products used in these projects there. I will have a link also over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Join me over there because this video and these cards are part of a blog hop celebrating the March 2022 release from Pinkfresh Studio. There will be all sorts of eye candy and prizes, so you won't want to miss out on that. So be sure to visit me over at my blog. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I am so glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed these projects. I hope you enjoyed this look at the brand new release from Pinkfresh Studio. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials that I share here. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the very end. You know, if you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click the button on the left side of the screen. And here's a couple more video tutorials I thought you might enjoy.